Hi students, Department of Technical Education, Telangana. My name is T. Rajshekar, working as a lecturer in civil engineering in SRRS Government Polytechnic, Sirsilla. Construction Management and Entrepreneurship. So this is the subject I am going to explain you, and this subject is for the Diploma in Civil Engineering for final year students, and the subject code is 18C 502. So today we are going to see the topic is administrative approval and technical sanction. So this is the topic from the first chapter, that is introduction and organizational aspects. So we have seen the various topics from the previous classes and videos. So let us see now the administrative approval and technical sanction. Objectives: on completion of this period you would be able to know the budget provision. So you will be knowing the budget provision. So what is budget provision? So in a construction companies or any project works, to construct in a successful way and complete in a good manner, we need the sufficient quantity of budget. So the budget provision is mainly for the construction of works. So certain work should be done. So certain project which is to be approval, we need the budget, the financial amount, how much it will be there, we should know that is called the budget. So this budget will be related for the employability and salaries of the employees, and construction works, contractors, bills. Okay, everything will be recorded in the budget provision. And next, you see the understand the administrative approval or sanction. So the technical sanction word is missing here. So we will be going to understanding the what is administrative approval or technical sanction, and we will understand the technical sanction also. So the word has came here. And so once we recap what we have seen in the previous class, we have discussed, that is functions of administrative officers in the state government engineering departments we have seen, and what are their duties also we have seen. So chief engineer duties are submitting budget proposed to the government, and he will control the expenditure, and he will controls employment transfers of the staff. And duties of superintendent engineer are administrative and technical control of circle, and he will exercise financial control by accepting tenders up to 50 lakhs. This is also important point. And he will finalize the schedule of rates. What are the item of rates are there, he will be finalized, and he will be done the inspection of the site periodically, and he will know the progress of the work. So we have seen in the various classes regarding the duties of chief engineer and superintending engineer, and we have studied the duties of executive engineer and deputy executive engineer and assistant executive engineer. So these are duties we have seen. So these all members, the persons are in any department, government, state department, they will be the functioning the their works. And you are also aware about feasibility report and project report. So this we have seen in our starting videos itself only, what is feasibility report and project report. So this feasibility report and project report is also very useful. And now let us see the budget provision. So what is budget provision? In every engineering department sends their financial requirements to the finance department to execute the projects. So here we can see how many departments are there. We are having 6 departments, that is irrigation department, roads and buildings department, panchayat raj department, rural water supply department, and tribal and welfare department. And so these are the 6 departments which are there. So these, they will be executing the projects, and they will be keeping the budget to the finance department. So this finance department, what it will do means, it will in turn, okay, it will in turn finance department obtains the concurrence from the government. So from the government the permission will be taken and the finance will be approved. So that is regarding the budget provision. So whatever the projects or any other constant works are there regarding the government or any private sector works, so everything should be approved from the government itself. So that is regarding the budget provision. So this budget provision will be prepared by the engineering department. So they will be sending the requirements of financial throughout the year and regarding the project requirements also. So whatever the budget is required for the total construction of the project or regarding the works in their department, so they will be execute the projects and they will be monitoring and visiting the sites, so that the budget should be required for them totally without any stoppable of the construction works. So when the finance has given the permission, the government will be getting the approval, then the budget will be released. So here accordingly budget will be allotted to the departments. So meanwhile here the submitting the to the finance department, from finance to the government. So the budget will be after getting the permission from the finance and the government, the budget will be sanctioned to the engineering departments. Okay, so whatever the amount allotted for various departments in the budget can be spent during the financial year. So the financial year is nothing but from every year March to March. Okay, that is 12 months. So whatever the amount which is released, they can be sanctioned, or the amount which is released from the finance department, they can spend or use the money in the financial year itself. So the projects which are there, so that the in the financial year the projects which are there, they can be used and they can be uh, gain the works in the predominantal way. Okay, and here administrative approval or sanction. So what is administrative approval and sanction? So here formal acceptance of the proposal work by the competent authority is called administrative approval. So here whoever the authority is are there. So from the administrative department or from the office section, the people who are there, so just like junior assistants or senior assistants or office in charges, so they will be preparing the formal acceptance of the proposal. What is the actual concept of the project work? So they will be proposing to the competent authority. So whoever the person is there, the promoting the competent authority, for them we will call administrative approval. So he will be giving the approval to the project by the our sanctioning in the administrative department. And next here, so who will be the competent authority? So the competent authority may be the chief engineer, okay, and superintending engineer, executive engineer, or members of parliament and members of legislative assembly or Jilla Parishad chairpersons. So these are the competent authority persons. They should be give the administrative approval. So here you can see the chief engineer is the head of the department in the every engineering department. Okay, so the chief engineer is responsible to the engineering chief. Engineering in chief is responsible to the secretary. Secretary is responsible to the minister. So meanwhile here the chief engineer is the competent authority. He can take or he can give the approval for the any type of works. And next after the powers will have the superintendent engineer. So superintendent engineering is also he will also have the same powers of chief engineer nearby him. And executive engineers are members of parliament in rare cases if the engineering department stream is not there. So special recommendation or special concession or any other urgent any other recommendations which are immediately should be done. So the member of parliaments will be authorities, or member of legislative MLAs will be there. And next, Jilla Parishad chairpersons also can give the administrative proper. So in these cases, the people who are the MPs and MLAs, which are ZP chairpersons, which are they will be giving in the special priority. Okay, and here you can see administrative approval is given on the basis of approximate estimates and preliminary plans. So to get the administrative approval or sanction, first of all we have to estimate the our plans, and we have to do the preliminary planning. So what we have discussed in the previous classes, the approximate estimates are called also preliminary estimates. Okay, so preliminary estimates means that is before starting the project we have to estimate it how much the project will be cost totally from starting to completion of state. So when the project will be started and when the project will be completed. So if the project will be started, if any problem occurs, what are the losses? If the project is successfully completed, what are the profits? So that everything should be done in the approximate estimates, and the detailed drawings, plans, whatever the structure you are going to construct, that should be detailedly published by the AutoCAD plans very detailed, and the steel calculations and the bar bending schedule details of the length of the bars and how many bars are there, so that everything should be submitted in the approximate estimates. So here this administrative approval or sanction which is getting, okay, so detailedly they will be checked and inspected by the competent authorities. And okay, so the plans which are there before the drawings or before uh, our building the structure, so the plans also should be submitted in the administrative approval file. And next you can see, after administrative approval, the engineering department takes up the work, prepares detailed designs, plans and estimates. So when you are getting the administrative approval from the government, then we have to start the work and we have to prepare the detailed designs and plans and estimates. So what the work we have to take up means, we have to clean the construction site, we have to start the markings, we have to take the levels. So that is regarding the works. And prepare the detailed designs means we have to estimate the quantities, we have to draw the diagrams, we have to study the drawings, and we have to take out the quantities of the footings, whether as columns, slabs, and we have to calculate the area of the building. Okay, so we have to think, and everything we have to calculate as per the structural plans. Okay, and totally we have to take out the quantities and we have to estimate it. So the estimate will be taken from the SSR, standard schedule of rates, the standard schedule of rates which are there, so that is approved by the government. So where whatever the government rates are fixed in the standard schedule of rates, so that rates will be taken for the quantities. So for one quantity or 1 cubic meter, how much rate which is there in the SSR rates, that will be taken to the total quantity and remarks will be there. So here you can see the cost also will be decided in the data sheet. So see, this is after administrative approval process, and here you can see the administrative approval is also taken on the modification of proposals originally approved and where there is material deviation. So what is happened here? So we can take the administrative approval even though after submitting the any modifications are there. So for the proposals we can plan that is originally approved and where there is material deviation. So if any problems are occurs in the budget provisions are required, sufficient quantity is not required, or it is more, or any other mistakes are there. So after getting the approval also we can make the modifications and we can keep the proposals to the any other material deviation is there. So that can be approved. And next one is technical sanction. Up to now we have seen the administrative approval. Now let us see the technical sanction. So what is technical sanction? So comparing here from the administrative approval or sanction, so this administrative approval is the main head of the department. So where the divisional offices are there, but head office will be there. In the head office for the state government, for state engineering department, one head office will be there. In the head office only, this administrative process and administrative office will be there. Okay. In that administrative office, the persons who are there, just like competent authorities, will be there in the each engineering department. They will be modifying and they will be sending the proposals to the government. And the next is technical sanction. So what is technical sanction? In the name itself you can see the technical word it is mentioned. So for every work proposed to be carried out, a detailed estimate must be presented for sanction by the competent authority of the engineering department, which is known as technical sanction. So what he is saying here, so whatever the work it is there, whether construction work or any site work or any other purposes of the regarding the our civil engineering works, so whatever the proposal work we have to be carried out. Okay, so with the detailed estimate, whatever the work is there, how much quantity and how much amount it will be happen, so that should be prepared in the data sheet. So we will call it as a detailed estimate or approximate estimate sheets. So here we are saying the detailed estimate. So detailed estimate should be prepared and it should be given by the competent authority by the approval in the engineering department. So that is known as technical sanction. So whatever the project is there for preparing the building plans and estimations and quantities and find outing and making a data sheet, that is called detailed estimate. So after preparing the detail sheet, it will be submitting to the competent authority for the approval is called technical sanction. And the competent authority may be the chief engineer, superintendent engineer or executive engineer of the concerned engineering department. So here the technical sanction ensures that the proposals are structurally sound and the estimates are accurately prepared based on adequate data. So what he is saying here in the technical sanction, you can see the ensures that the proposals are structurally sound. That means the whatever the proposals we are giving regarding the project or any structural works, so that proposals which are correct and clear, that is nothing but approximately it will be the cost of the item or cost of the structure. Okay, and that estimates are accurately prepared and the whatever the project structure or we have taken the bill quantities, so for that the estimates are also prepared correctly and approximately and exactly. So based on adequate data. So based on adequate data means whatever the drawings or plans or site condition, so regarding the surroundings areas, so that is nothing but adequate data. So based on this data the detailed estimate will be prepared. And after you can see after technical sanction of the estimate, the work is taken up for construction. So when we are getting after the technical sanction of the estimate from the administrative approval, then the work is taken for the construction. So this is the process of for every construction works in the engineering departments. So the proposal should be kept to the government. It should be approval get by the competent authority, and after that the proposals what we are submitting to the government, it is known as technical sanction. So after getting the technical sanction of the estimate, the work is taken up for the construction. So next, if subsequent to the grant of technical sanction, suppose if it is the work is subsequent, that means it is relevant to the sanctioning of technical, any alterations are to be contemplated, the orders of original sanctioning authority should be obtained. That means in the technical sanction for getting any alterations, okay, after submitting the proposals or modifications to the government from the competent authority, so any alterations are can be contemplated or orders of the original sanctioning. So if the modifications were changed, we should be given information to the concerned competent authorities. So because of any modifications or alterations will be done, it is responsible to the submit the technical sanction. And what are the powers of sanction? How many powers they have? What are the powers of sanction they have? So here the powers nothing but depending on administrative status in the department, regulations have been formulated for monetary powers of each of the officers. So you can see here the powers of sanction for them, they are depending upon administrative status in the department, regulations, they have the powers. So that is powers of sanction with respect to administrative approval. So what are the powers we can see? So chief engineer has power up to 50 lakhs and 2 crores also, and superintendent engineer has up to 2 lakhs. So he can sanction or he can release the amount within his time, and executive engineer has 1 lakh power. So these are the powers they have. They can release the amount and they can run the project. Okay, and here some of the powers of sanctions with respect to technical sanction. So related with the technical sanction, so the chief engineer has 2 crores. So in then the previous you can see that is for the administrative approval. Okay, and here you can see for technical sanction. So technical sanction means for the construction works he can give up to the 2 crores, and superintendent engineer can sanction up to 50 lakhs. Okay, and executive engineer can sanction up to 10 lakhs. So their powers for the technical works, technical sanction works, they can sanction this amount. Okay, and these powers of sanction with respect to tenders. So how it will be useful means with respect to tenders, the chief engineer has 2 crores for tenders. He can keep or he can attend the tenders. He can draft the tenders up to the 2 crores project. Okay, and the superintendent engineer can be give the tender up to the 50 lakhs, and executive engineer has 10 lakhs up to the tender projects. Okay, so these are the powers of the sanction of the people. Now, so they used to use this up to the limit of these powers only. They cannot go more amount also. So these are the administrative and technical sanction of powers. So let us see now the administrative approval process. How this administrative approval process will be done. So here when a work other than a petty work or repairs is required by a department, suppose any other petty works means the small, just like construction works, just like patch works or any grouting works, okay, or any brick works which are called petty works, and the responsible officer, okay, whoever will be the responsible officer of the department should in the first instance and obtain the requisite approval to its execution from the competent authority. So he should take the competent authority approval, that is regarding the permission. The concurrence of the competent authority is termed administrative approval. So whoever the giving the permission or responsible officer for the department, he will be giving the administrative approval. And we can see in the administrative process, when a work is required to be executed by the PHED, so let us continue the administrative approval. So as we see in the administrative approval, so here public health engineering department is the responsible officer. The department shall obtain the administrative approval from the competent authority. So here we can see the categories also. So we are having the revised administrative approval now. So in the revised administrative approval, you can see revised administrative approval of the competent authority should be obtained when. So in the some reasons were mentioned. Administrative approval has been given on the basis of a stage 1 estimate, and the amount of the detailed estimate or in the case of a work in progress. So for the administrative approval, how they will give the amount or sanction means, first they will give the stage 1 estimate, and that means it's a 1 month work or 2 months work, that is called stage 1 estimate. So up to that some amount will be released, and after that the progress of work, the 50% amount will be released. Okay, and here you can see the expenditure on the work exceeds or is likely to exceed the amount already approved by more than 20%. Okay, if the expenditure on the work will be exceeds or likely to be spent more than the approved by more than 20%, or administrative approval has been accorded on stage 2 estimate and the expenditure exceeds or is likely to exceed the amount approved by more than 10%. Okay, so administrative approval will be giving the in the stage 2 estimate. So if the work is completed more than the given budget, so it will be added in that upcoming budget, so that will be approved more than 10% comparing with the 20%. And here you can see any material deviations are made from the original proposals even though their cost may be covered by savings on other items. So suppose any materials or deviations occurs or any problems occurs with the help of the materials, in the original proposals we will be covered by savings on the different items. Okay, so that will be covered in the upcoming stages also. So coming to the technical sanction, you can see uh, for every work a properly detailed estimate must be prepared for the sanction of the competent authority. So we are preparing the a project report just like for the approval from the technical sanction. So that will be given in the detailed estimate as we have discussed. So here this sanction is known as the technical sanction. So whatever the detailed estimates we are preparing and we are keeping approval for the budget, that is called the technical sanction. Okay, so to the estimate and expect as provided in the uh, must be obtained before the work is commenced. So here the technical sanction which is there, it should be approved by the concerned authorities, competent authority, and they should be given from the authorities. And all sanction estimates should be recorded in the division office. So whatever the sanction estimates which we are submitting, so that everything should be recorded in the divisional offices. Okay, and a written of all estimates sanctioned by the executive engineer should be sent to the superintendent engineer. So whatever the budget proposals or technical sanctions we are giving, so that all estimates should be sanctioned by the executive engineer, and he should be again sent to the superintendent engineer, because whatever the executive engineer has got from the superintendent engineer, so he should be sent back to the superintendent engineer again. And here and the accountant general and those sanctioned by the chief engineer and the superintendent engineer should be sent by them to the AG. Okay, so here is the assistant general, accountant general, who is the person in the competent authority. He will be finalizing the technical sanctions. So that will be going from one stage to another stage. So that is going from EE to SC and SC to CE. So from CE it will be going to the accountant general. And in third case, in exceptional cases where it is desirable to commence work on a project to which expenditure sanction has been accorded by competent authority, before the detailed estimate for the whole project has been sanctioned. So if the in certain cases only, that is in the exceptional cases where the commence of the work on a project which is expenditure is sanctioned, okay, from the competent authority, the detailed estimate for the whole project has to be sanctioned. So the project whichever it is there, the amount will be sanctioned for the whole. And here it is permissible for the authority competent to sanction the final technical estimate as a whole to accord sanction to detailed estimates for component parts of the project submit to the following conditions. So whatever the project we are submitting, so they should satisfy the following conditions for the technical sanction. So not only the detailed estimates, whatever the estimates or abstracts we are submitting, so they should be following the conditions. So that is first one, you can see for each such work or component part, there must be a fully prepared detailed estimate. So in the construction, whatever the component parts or any building or any type of structure what we are preparing, so for each and every part we have to keep the detailed estimate. Suppose you take the example, a component part that is a footing, okay. So the footing you have to keep the what is the length and breadth of the footing and depth of the footing, and how much quantity of concrete will be there, and what is the cost of the footing, and how much time it will be take. So that we have to prepare the detailed estimate and how much quantity of steel will be used for the one footing, okay. So that is called the detailed estimate. We have to prepare for one part to another part everything. And here and in the expenditure sanction as a whole, there must be a clear and specific amount corresponding to the work or component in question. So whatever the component part is there, okay, the expenditure or sanction of the amount which is giving the specific amount for the whole work, there should be the related, okay. And the amount of the detailed estimate must not exceed the amount included in the expenditure sanction. So whatever the sanction amount which is sanctioned from the higher authorities, so based on the detailed estimates which we have prepared, so it should not exceed the more amount. The actual amount what we have reduced to the for the technical sanction, that much amount only should be sanctioned. If not more than not exceed the amount included in the expenditure sanction. So if the amount more exceeds, the problem will be arisen and the amount will be drawn back. And here the third one, the sanctioning authority must be satisfied before according sanction. So who is the sanctioning authority? The person is there. He should be satisfied before sanctioning the work, because he should fulfill all the requirements and he should see the all the things which are as per the specifications drawings, okay, as per the government rules and regulations are there or not. And that no material, okay, that no material deviations from the whole project as prepared for the purpose of expenditure sanction are to be anticipated, and that the amount of the technical sanction for the whole project is not likely to exceed the amount of the expenditure sanction. So here the one condition is the purposes of expenditure sanction which are there, they should not be anticipated. That means the amount should not be crossed or it should not be spent more. So whatever the sanctioned amount which is there, it should be adjusted in that project only, and if not likely to exceed, the expenditure sanction cannot be sanctioned. So the sanctioning authority should be satisfied all the requirements, these conditions. So the proper estimation should be there, and they should be keep the drawings, and they should be submit the tender documents, and they should be submitting the contractors documents, okay, and whoever the works are going on, which company is taking the works, so everything should be mentioned in the detailed estimate. So these detailed estimates are useful for the in the construction works, whereas we can cross check the all the expenditure amount, how much we have spent, and regarding the planning and executing the works also we can see the this type of works. And here next is, when a stage I estimate of the work has been administratively approved by the competent authority. Suppose, okay, when the stage 1 estimate of the work has been administratively approved by the competent authority, then what will happen? So in the detailed stage 2, estimates of subworks or subheads or individual items or parts finding place in the stage 1 estimate may be technically sanctioned by the competent authority. So the here the authorities which are there with the technically sanctioned by the authorities which are there, okay, so within these powers with prior approval of the authority competent of technically sanctioned the work has over. So these are the generally the stage estimates which I have done, okay. So they will be using this one as a competent authority. So in the detailed stage 2 and comparing with the detailed stage 1, so we will be keeping the works. And here under such circumstances the consolidated estimate shall be sanctioned by the authority competent to the sanction the whole estimate. So whoever the sanctioned person is estimating the amount and he is sanctioning the budget proposals, they should be think the before the sanctioning the amount for the project, because up to the it will be just like a stages wise, first stage, second stage, third stage. So depending upon the construction status of work, they will be releasing the amount. So they will not release the total amount at a time, because running in the time sometimes the work will be stopped, so sometimes the work will be any other circumstances it will be happen. So that's why they will be releasing the amount just like phase wise, okay. So as we discussed now, just like this one, the stage wise they will be releasing the amount. So meanwhile here in the stage 1 you can see the estimate of the work has been administratively approved. So that is the first approval will be they will be sanctioning the amount by the administrative approval. And next in the detailed stage 2, whatever the work we have done in the stage 1, that should be submitted, okay. So the submitted the amount bills which are there, that amount will be given to the such an contractor of the companies. So whatever the items or details of the component parts or any different types of stretches which are there, each and everything should be approximately estimated. So the estimated which are there, they are compulsory, required for the priority of the powers given to the competent authority. So these competent authority, whoever it is there, they should be checked the all key list and all the proposals of the budget, and they should check the limitants of the how much amount of the given is should be checked by them. So that's why the stages will be divided. So stage 1 and stage 2, and then meanwhile stage 3 also will be there. But any other circumstances, the consolidated estimate means the total amount of the project, which is called consolidated estimate. So these consolidated estimate which is prepared in the data sheet or abstract estimate, they should be shown in the department. So that amount will be sanctioned and it will be the useful for the upcoming projects and sanctioning the works, okay. So this is the regarding the administrative approvals and technical sanctions. So meanwhile these technical sanctions are useful for the companies for upcoming works also, okay. So I hope everyone have understood. Summary, in this class we have discussed about budget provision and administrative approval or sanction and technical sanction. So in each and every company for the in departments you can see powers of sanction. So these are very important topics for the state government engineering departments. Okay, I hope everyone have understood this topic. So thank you. Have a nice day.